Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Talk Business with the Coaching Network. I am Maria Medina, your business and networking coach. And today I am joined by a guest that I met through a networking organization in Broward County in Florida, Emerge Broward. They are an organization targeted for young professionals, for people young in their career, and they're looking to network and grow. And it's a great organization, so I definitely wanted to give them a shout out. So, Summer, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are, your organizations, and what you do.
And thank you for having me, Maria. I'm really excited. This is my first time on a podcast, so I'm really excited that it gets to be with you. So my name is Summer, and I run a creative agency called Electric Teal, and I work with small to medium-sized businesses and do everything marketing from consulting to social media management and content creation. And through that organization, I started this community, Rose and Hustle, which is also has become another business of mine. And it is a community for women in business. We do a lot of networking events, workshops, and build resources for women running their business.
And I think one of the things that I want to mention back and linking it back to Emerge is how we can collaborate and be in a space that doesn't compete. Because I got introduced to you and Rose and Hustle at another organization, at another networking event. And it's all about just sharing resources and going where each other's events are and supporting each other. So I really appreciate that you were attending other events, promoting your own events. So it's a great organization. You guys should check out Rosé and Hustle. And we'll share links. Make sure to share those links in the description of the video. So check those out. To get started with Let's Talk Business, I always like to ask any challenges that you have come across, whether it's with your main business or Rosé and Hustle, that you have overcome.
Challenges. There's always so many, right? And I think for me, like the most constant challenge that I've had is follow through. So, and I'm sure a lot of business owners can relate. We have all these different ideas. We want to do all these things. And the hard part is like executing, pulling the trigger on those different things that you want to do. And the way that I have and still do overcome that challenge is bringing other people into the mix and asking for help. Because when you're working with somebody else, first of all, you don't want to let them down. So there's that push. There's also somebody to follow up with you and kind of remind you. And I know so many times I've been working with people on a project and I can be all over the place sometimes, and they'll email me or send me a nudge and say like, oh, hey, just a heads up, I didn't hear back from you. And it helps me get the push that I need to like get that stuff done, put it on the calendar and make sure those things are happening.
So I think having an accountability partner as well as knowing ourselves, and I've spoken about this previously about follow through and also knowing when to let something go that isn't working for us, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's something that we're hoping is going to work out and it's our brainchild and we don't want to give it up and we keep on going and keep on doing it, but it's hard to identify when's the right time to say, actually, this isn't working, let's pivot, let's work around it. And it helps to have other people to talk to about these types of things. So having said that, another thing that people struggle with is that when they're solopreneurs, they don't have anybody to share their successes with. So let's give you that platform. What's one success that you'd like to celebrate about your business or your networking organization?
Yeah, that's always it's a hard question to answer, but I mean, you have so many different points in life when you find success in things and in different areas of your life, like personal success, health success, financial success. And I think specifically for Rose and Hustle, a moment of success, and I think like an aha moment for me when I was really proud of myself and the community was realizing that it mattered to the people that were involved in the community and in the events. And I think it was always my fear in the beginning was, I really want to do this. I really have all these big dreams and hopes for how it can help other women, but does it make sense for them? And will it matter to them? And will they be able to find meaning? And I think just recently I've been working with some of these women and realized that has mattered to them, and they've, been able to tell me that. And I think for me, that was a moment I was just, my heart was so full because that's the goal, right? I wanted a community and a space that would be able to have a positive impact on these women and be able to help them, connect them with resources, and just be a positive space. So I think that was a moment for me where I feel like, this has all been for something, and I was really excited about that.
You're the second person in this series to mention impact, which I think is so important because it's our reason for starting business. We have our reasons for starting it, and we want to create an impact. We want to be a change, and we want to help other people. And I recently had a client, and she had a speaking engagement. She was on stage, and she said, "You know what? If only one person comes up to me after I'm speaking with a group of like 100 or 200 people, it's worth it." Because if you're able to make impact, even if it's just that one person, it makes so much of a difference, and it helps propel you in your why to continue and motivate you to continue to do what it is that you're doing. Before starting your business and before starting the networking organization, was there anything you wish you had known before getting started in your journey?
If I like look back, the thing I wish I had known when I started my business is to ask for help. And that's kind of the whole reason I started Rose and Hustle. I think it's really hard at any point, I think, in your journey. It can be difficult to ask for help, but for different reasons. And I think starting out, I was never sure of like boundaries that people had. Am I asking a question that they normally charge people to, like, to answer? Is this like a consultation type of thing? I didn't want to offend anybody. I didn't want to, kind of cross a boundary, and I wasn't sure. So I just was like, I'm not even going to ask. Or I just didn't want to burden anybody. And so I just didn't. And I think the other part was that I just didn't know where to go for a lot of things. And for all those reasons is why, Rose and Hustle happened, because I didn't want other women starting businesses to find themselves in that place where they're like, who do I ask? What do I ask? Where do I go? So I think, for me, that's an I wish I knew moment for me.
And I guess something great came out of it because you created that space for other people to come in, feel comfortable. Hey, we're here to learn, and then we're here to also use each other as resources, and we're in different stages of our businesses. And I always tell my clients and anybody that I network with, if somebody is to charge for that question that you're asking, or if somebody doesn't want to answer that, it's up to them to set those boundaries. And the worst thing that will happen from that is they either say no, or they say, hey, yeah, let's pop in a consultation. This is something that I usually, and I've had to do that with some people. I'm a networking coach, but I'm out networking all the time, and people are asking me for advice and for opinions, and sometimes you just have to set that boundary. So if you need help, reach out. There is a community. That's why I love networking, and I love building that community and having that professional development that Rose and Hustle has, where you bring people and you bring those speakers to teach something, sort of opens it up to, hey, we're all here to learn, to grow, to collaborate together. So I think it's an awesome platform. If there was one resource that you could currently share with anybody starting their business, what would that be?
And I've thought a lot about this, and I was trying to think of like an actual book or podcast. And podcasts are something I've recently gotten into, so I'm looking for recommendations. But I think the biggest resource for me has been community. And I think, like, in that community, when I tell people to like just go out and meet people, whether it's at a networking event, or you can network anywhere, at a coffee shop, or some place where you're just around people. But I think the biggest resource is having people you can talk to, like-minded people you can ask questions, and mentors. I think people can be a really big resource, and you find that in community.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's huge. You can find community anywhere. You can find community within the organization that you're working with. You can find community out, like by going online, finding a chamber, finding Rose and Hustle, or you can just find it within your immediate network. So figuring out, who do I know, who can help me, who can I ask questions to, is really important when you're starting a business, to build that community, because you're by yourself, and there's nobody that you can talk to about these things. So who better to ask than other people that are going through it at the same time or have gone through it. I always like to end these segments with a fun fact of my guests. So what is one fun fact that you would like to share with our audience today?
I think a fun fact about me is that we have two rabbits, Eleanor, she's a fuzzy, um, you know, little strong-willed lionhead rabbit, and we have Buster, who is our teeny tiny little honey-colored snuggle bunny. And those are our babies, and we love them dearly, and they're full of joy and antics. So that's my fun little fact.
Do they get along?
No, we can't have them in the same room. Some rabbits just don't, and it's unfortunate, but they both have their own dedicated spaces and they get lots of love and attention.
I love that. They have their unique personalities that just clash. Yeah, yeah. No, I completely like. We have cats, and some of them are best friends, and the other ones just stay away from each other, which is something you can't help. But I like that they all have their unique personalities. I love that animals have their own unique personalities. I like to compare one of my cats to my wife. Because she's quick. She's quick to say when she's not happy about something. Summer, thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for braving it and being on your first podcast. I'm so glad. It's a privilege to have you on here. If anybody wants to connect with you, learn more about your organization or Rose and Hustle, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
The best way to reach out, I think, would be email, and so my email is summer at rose and hustle. Obviously, rose spelled rose because we can't do the little accent, at roseandhustle.com, and I am working on follow up, so I will answer back.
Go on. Are you on any of the social medias? Are you on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn? What's the best one that they can DM you on?
We are on all of them: LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and I think it should be the same on all of them. Is at Rose and Hustle, so it's easy to find. It's good consistency, but we're most active on Instagram at the moment.
Excellent. I'll make sure to share both Summer's email and that Instagram handle. Please make sure that you guys tune back in for our next episode. I'll include that in our email blast. So go to the website and I'll include a link so you can subscribe to our newsletter and you can watch out for a new episode. Summer, thank you again for being a guest today. And I really enjoyed the conversation.